If you've been looking at the Ottawa Real Estate Board's November stats, you might think the market is slowing down. Sales are down 18%. Inventory is up 31%. Months of inventory climbed again. But here's the thing, these numbers are misleading. And in some cases, they tell you the opposite story of what's actually happening right now. Because while the market stats make it look like it's slow, I just showed 7 homes this past weekend. Before we even got home, 2 of them already had offers. 2 more were conditionally sold the next morning. So what's really going on in Ottawa's real estate market? I'm Bekkers, an Ottawa Realtor, and today we're going deep into the truth behind the November 2025 market stats. So here's what the board stats are showing you. Let's start with the numbers everyone sees. The Ottawa Real Estate Board reported 880 sales, down 18% from last November, an average price of $680,000, which is up just over 2% year over year. Also had active listings at 3,700, which is up 31%. Months of inventory at 4.2, which is technically balanced. Now, condos are sitting the longest with 7.3 months of inventory. If you look at this snapshot alone, you'd assume that buyers aren't buying. Sellers are flooding the market and prices are flat. But that interpretation ignores all the context. Here's the first big issue. These stats compare this November to last November only. But last November, 2024, was one of the busiest fourth quarters Ottawa has had in years. If you zoom out to the 5-year average, 2024 was an outlier, a total anomaly. But when you compare 2025 to the actual 5-year trend, we're essentially right on target. And this is why year-over-year snapshots can be misleading. They tell you the number, but not the full story behind it. The second big misunderstanding is the rise in inventory. Yes, active listings are up 30%, but here's the truth that does not show up in the stats. A huge portion of this inventory is simply overpriced listings. Sellers are listing as if it's early 2022. They're skipping staging, overestimating the market. They're pricing emotionally, not strategically. And those listings sit. Meanwhile, the well-priced homes, they're still flying. And here's the real-world example. Last weekend, when I booked 7 showings, 7 homes that fit what my buyers were looking for, before we even finished the tour, 2 already had offers, 2 conditionally sold and gone by the next morning. 4 out of 7 homes gone in less than 24 hours. That's not a slow market. That's not a weak market. That is a market where buyers are extremely active, but only when the price is right and the homes show well. The overpriced homes inflate inventory, but they do not reflect actual demand. Here's what's actually happening in each segment. Let's break this down by property type. Condos. Yes, they have high inventory. Pre-construction completions are rising. Investors are listing. Affordability is shifting. But well-priced condos, they still move. Now townhomes. Prices actually dipped here, but mostly because the ones that aren't selling are the ones that need major updates. Move-in ready townhomes, still extremely competitive. Over to detached homes, this is by far the strongest segment. Average prices are up nearly 5% year over year, and still the most in demand. On paper, the market is balanced, but in reality, the detached segment is acting a little bit closer to a seller's market still. And here's the demand story that nobody is talking about. Here's something that almost no one mentions. We are selling roughly the same number of homes today as we did 40 years ago. But Ottawa's population, it's dramatically larger. So why are sales so low? It's not because people don't want to move. It's not because demand has disappeared, but because demand has been suppressed. People were waiting for rates, waiting for stability, waiting for more homes being built, waiting for clarity, waiting for affordability to improve. Now, suppressed demand doesn't go away. It builds, and when confidence returns, it comes back extremely fast. We saw this in October, we saw it in the showing activity in November, and we're going to see it again this spring. Now let's talk about supply. Canada and Ottawa are not building enough homes, not even close. Housing starts are way behind target. Developers are slowing down due to development fees. Construction costs are extremely high, labor is limited, and even with rental and condo starts on the rise, we're still nowhere near meeting the needs of our growing population. And not everybody is looking for a condo. This is why the inventory spike in November is not a long-term trend. This is seasonal. This happens every single year. And long-term, we're still facing an extreme shortage in listings. This is why Ottawa stays stable, why prices stay resilient, And that's why demand surges the moment the confidence returns. Last year, we were heading into what looked like a busy spring market. And then in January, tariffs were announced. That froze a ton of buyers. This year, we don't have that shock. Rates have already been cut, inflation is actually easing, confidence is returning, and the buyers who waited all of 2024, they're coming back in 2026. This is pent-up demand, and it is already showing up in how quickly the well-priced homes are selling. So here's what buyers need to know. If you're a buyer right now, this is your window. Not because prices are dropping, they're not. It's not because sellers are desperate, they're not. But because you can still negotiate, you can include the conditions you need, get your inspections, you can be a little bit more choosy on what you're purchasing. But that window, it will close given our inventory and lack of housing starts, the moment that the spring market hits. If rates drop again, even slightly, competition returns, and it returns fast. Here's what sellers need to know. If you're selling your home, pricing strategy is everything. Homes are selling. They're selling quickly, still selling strong, but only when they're presented properly. This is not a market where you test a price. This is a market where the homes that win because of strategy. Strategic pricing, pre-listing preparation, staging, professional visuals, YouTube marketing, Google marketing, all targeted marketing, and a structured launch plan. The first 72 hours determine your outcome. So yes, the November stats look slow on paper, but the real story, the Ottawa market is stronger than the numbers suggest. All signs are pointing to a very active spring. If you want the truth, not just the headlines, reach out anytime. My name's Eric Bekkers, and you can call or text me at 343-805-0139. Visit our website to book your consultation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.